We now have the list of threads in the home page, and we have a route that displays a single thread. In this lesson, we will link the list items with a thread page, so when a user clicks on a thread, they are redirected to read it. The path for the thread page is /thread/id. I will open the thread list component, that is the one we use in the home page to create the list. Here we already have a link element, so let's go on and make it functional. The first idea that comes in mind is to dynamically set the href attribute of the A tag to the route path. In this case, that would be /thread/the thread ID. Let's give it a shot in the browser. When we click the link, we are being redirected to the threads page, which is nice. But notice that the browser tries to reload the page. That should not happen in a single page application. To prevent the browser from reloading the page, we can use the router link component. The router link component is available in all router-aware components. Since we have injected the router in the root view instance in main.js, all our components are aware of the router. In order to render a link using the router link component, we have to pass it a to property. To can be a string with a path or an object. If I replace the A tag with router link and switch href with to, there won't be any difference in the rendered markup since router link renders an ACOR tag by default. The router link component allows the navigation to take place on the client side, and we won't see the browser reloading. This way, navigation becomes much faster. We can improve our code by using the object syntax for the to property. Instead of passing the dynamic path directly as a string, we can also use an object with the name of the route and the required parameter. The required param we want to pass here is the ID param, and the value is the ID of the related thread. I will open our routes file to find the name we gave to our route. It is called thread_show. So our router link tag will be this: to name thread_show params ID thread ID. The output in the browser is the same, but we get two benefits by using the object syntax. Firstly, we get a small benefit that the link is easier to read and understand what data are being passed to the route and their purpose. Here we know, for instance, that the route requires the ID param. Secondly, and most importantly, when we are using a named route instead of the path, we can change the route's path in router index.js without having to update and refactor our application. Let me show you. I will change the thread show's path to /thread/show/id. If I switch back to the browser, without making any change in our code, notice that our links still work perfectly fine. Imagine how huge is that if you have hundreds of links in your code base that you would have to refactor. I want to note here that changing the paths can negatively affect your SEO if your application is public. Also, it can confuse your users and break links they have shared or stored. So have that in mind and try to keep your route paths as stable as possible. Let's switch back the route path to /thread.